What's up, guys? It's Caleb coming at you with another Sometimes Devo. Don't do that. Today we are going to be in Ecclesiastes chapter 4. Yay! The main topic is oppression, toil, and friendlessness. Everything we love. Okay, so let's just jump right into the beginning. Again I looked and saw all the oppression that was taking place under the sun. I saw the tears of the oppressed, and they have no comforter. Power was on the side of their oppressors, and they have no comforter. And I declared that the dead who had already died are happier than the living who are still alive. But better than both is he who has not yet been, who has not seen evil that is done under the sun. So that is saying that those who are oppressed don't have anybody to lean on, and the oppressors also don't have anyone to lean on. Saying that it's better for someone to not be born or to be an infant or not conscious enough of evil ways, because then they are innocent, and it is better for a person to be that way so that they don't see the evil that is done under the sun. And I saw all the labor and all achievements spring from man's envy of his neighbor. This too is meaningless, a chasing after the wind. The fool folds his hands and ruins himself. Better one handful with tranquility than two handfuls with toil, a chasing after the wind. So that little bit right there, verses 5 and 6, a fool folds his hands and ruins himself. Better one handful of tranquility than two handfuls with toil. So tranquility, if I'm right, it means being calm or having peace. And so it's better to have one hand of peace than two hands of toil. And I would agree. And if you have two handfuls of toil, it's meaningless. And again, I saw something meaningless under the sun. There was a man all alone. He had neither son nor brother. There was no end to his toil, yet his eyes were not content with his wealth. For whom am I toiling, he asked, and why am I deprived myself of enjoyment? This too is meaningless, a miserable business. Two are better than one, because they have a good return for their work. If one falls down, his friend can help him up. But pity the man who falls, and no one is there to help him up. Also, if two lie down together, they will keep each other warm. But how can one keep warm alone? So that is saying one man, he didn't have a brother, he didn't have a son, like no family. And he put his life into his business, he put his life into his work and his wealth. And at the end of the day, he saw that it was meaningless. He's asking, why am I toiling myself? Why am I working so hard, yet I have no one to share it with? And it's saying it's meaningless. He deprived himself of enjoyment because of that. And then two men are better than one. It's like two minds are better than one mind. Four hands are better than two hands. Just two people are better than one person. You can get more work done. You can get more things said. Pity the man. So if one falls, his friend can help him up. So that's pretty self-explanatory. Us in our school systems or at work, wherever we are, when we fall, our friends will help us up. Like if we literally trip over the curb or our shoes or the air, if we fall, our friend can help us up. But pity the man who falls and has no one to help him up. That could be financial, that could be emotional, spiritual, you name it. You could fall in multiple ways. And so let's pick it up at verse 12. Though one may be overpowered, two can defend themselves. A cord of 3 strands is not easily or quickly broken. So just because a man has a lot of power, two can defend themselves better than just that one man. A cord of 3 strands is not easily broken. And the reason why it says 3 strands is because it's you, your friend, and God. Not you, your friend, and somebody else. So then verse 13, I'm going to read 13 through 16. It says, "Better a poor but wise youth than an old foolish king who no longer knows how to take warning. The youth may have come from prison to the kingship, or he may have been born in poverty within his kingdom. I saw all who lived and walked under the sun follow the youth and the king's successor. There was no end to all the people who were there before them. But those who came later there were not pleased with the successor, and this too is meaningless, a chasing after the wind." So that's saying if there's a teenager that is wise, it's better than an old foolish dude with a bunch of money. In verse 15, "I saw that all who lived and walked under the sun followed the youth, the king's successor." So it's saying that there may have been the king, the old rich guy, but the successor, the youth, was wise. So there's a foolish king and a wise youth. It's like, who you're going to follow? Well, most people followed the wise youth because he was wise. The old foolish king was foolish. Why would you follow a fool? I wouldn't. But still, all of this is meaningless. It's a chasing after the wind. And so that's all of chapter 4. And as always, underlining